everyone, welcome to another episode of Century Countess. In today's video, we are celebrating my birthday week. My birthday is this coming up Saturday. I am very excited, and last night, right before I went to bed, I did a post asking fellow subscribers and friends what they would like to see today, because I felt like I wanted to do something to begin my birthday week. So I put in a poll, and the options were makeup, photo adventure, and being spontaneous. So I thought, well, everybody voted for spontaneous, so I thought, okay, I'm going to do what I like to do, and that is experiment with makeup. And I've had this for a while. This is a neon green eyeliner, and for those of you who know me well, one of my favorite colors is neon green. So I thought we'd try to do what I like to call a lineless eyeshadow. You know how in some eyeshadows, there's like that cool borderline around the eyeshadow, and it's either black or a darker shade of the color, mainly for alternative looks. Well, there are some eyeshadows that I've seen where it's like very blended and it's like really clean looking, and I think it's because especially from what I've seen in videos, they use an eyeliner that matches the eyeshadow that they're using. So we're going to try that today, and it will give me a chance to try this eyeliner out that I've had for a good while but I haven't used. Now, this is a Dollar Tree product, so $1.25. Used to be $1, but now they've moved it up to $1.25, which is sad. So 25 cents more, but that's before tax. So anyway, as you know, some Dollar Tree products can be crap and can be good. So this might break a couple of times as it's touching my face, and if that fails, that's fine. We can always improvise and just call it a day. So the first thing I'm going to do is put on my foundation, but I'm going to do that off camera because you've seen me do that many times before. So I will be right back after I put on my foundation and my black contouring. And we are back. So we are being spontaneous. So we have no plans on how we're going to do this. We just have an idea of idea of the color scheme, just not how we're going to do this eyeshadow. And excuse the noise in the background, that is my notification from my phone, if you can hear that. Also, if you hear a rattling, that is my air conditioner. But in a way it works because you don't want to hear what's going on outside there. So I'm hoping it's muffled to where you can't hear some of the insanities that's going on. Because ever since Mr. Cheeto did what he did, assholism has expanded. People are blaming everybody, yada yada, but I'm not going to go into that. I've already been to that on Instagram, and I don't want to add it to my video. So, I apologize for the rude notification sounds that keep coming up. If they keep coming up, occasionally they come up multiple, but anyway, I digress. So, I wanted to tell you why I love celebrating my birthday. So, again, before I start, sometimes my mirror will block what you see, so I apologize for that because I'm focusing on the look, and sometimes I can't, sometimes, it will block and I don't notice it, and when I do, probably half of the work is missing, so I apologize for that. So I try to catch it if I can. So anyway, as I was saying, let's see, how will this look? Let's see, you can't really see too much of it, so it's a very light pigment, but you'll probably see it more. I'm pressing on. I don't want to press too hard because I know it's probably going to break. So, the reason why I love my birthday and love to celebrate it is because when I was reluctantly forced to move to the place of my birth, and I refer to it as the place of my birth because I do not like talking about it. It is the Twilight Zone. we were, well, my grandmother was conned into coming back, and she probably thought it was best. Oh, that long story short, it wasn't. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. She won't admit it, but it was a nightmare. We have relatives, my Nazi aunts, and I refer to them as the Nazi aunts. They're not really Nazis or German, but their behavior is similar to a Nazi's. Oh Lord, said they would help with this, they would help with that. They did not help with this, they did not help with that. And whenever they did, it was always on their terms. And they always blame me. It's like, I will be honest, I'm not into whole big festivities, especially Christmas and all that stuff. Nothing was stopping my grandmother from going to these events. I was old enough to stay on by myself. I even tried to encourage her. But when my grandmother was not going to do it, they blamed me for her not coming. And it's like, I was trying to encourage her to go to these festivities on her own. I just did not like big gatherings, especially, and in all honesty, another reason why I didn't like going, because I didn't want to go into a room full of snobs. Especially those who are Democrats, but with Republican attitude and beliefs. So it's like they were Democrats, but they might as well have been Republican. Long story short. And they were hypocrites. So anyway, I digress. The reason why I like celebrating it is because, going back to the ants, they had it in their heads that when you're a teen, your birthdays are literally not a big grand thing anymore. So why bother celebrating it? And that was the nicest version of it. In other words, they didn't celebrate it because I wasn't their favorite. And I remember the first birthday in the area of my birth, I thought it was a birthday thing. I was told it was a birthday thing for a trip to the zoo. And they had a demon child. I'm going to refer to it as the demon child. Spoiled rotten. Literally spoiled rotten. No matter what he did, damage, disrespectful for privacy, etc. But he was the one spoiled. And long story short, when I kind of like, this is supposed to be my birthday, it's like, I'd like a little, I expressed how I felt. Long story short. And I was told that this was actually pre-planned for that kid. So when I was told it was a birthday treat, it wasn't really a birthday treat. It was just tag along, but your birthday is a real event because of your age. Because to them, they believed you were full grown. You were literally an adult when you were only 14 years old. So I barely had a birthday. I can't even remember if I ever had a birthday celebration when I was living there. I might have had a handout, but that's as close to a birthday recognition I got. When I mean by handout, it's like a little card with money. And trust me, when you're a kid, even when you're a teen, it hurts. But you find out you literally find out who's favorite and who's not, and it's like, I hate favoritism, that's why I hate favoritism. And people in the past have said, you're a favorite. No, I'm not. If I was a favorite, I'd definitely have the prince and princess treatment. I do not. And people have claimed I have. I honestly did not. That was in their head. I have not. But then when you see the people that they treat, that's the ones with the prince and princess complex. I am deeply glad that I don't have the prince or princess complex. Even though people claim I do not. So I will admit, the only birthday that I can recall that was ever thrown, I threw it myself. It was my 21st birthday. You would think, 21st birthday, you'd have, somebody would treat you to your first drink, etc., etc. Never happened. Never happened. In fact, when I tried to invite certain people, including one of the Nazi aunts, they accepted, and then they turned around and forgot because they had planned to take the kids to some sort of other event. Sad. And they had no recognition, which is why I finally discovered that, some of the stuff that I have said in the past, maybe have shared, it's ignored. It's like the accomplishments, they take one look at you, be like, oh, nice, and then they would go back and continue their conversation. So it's like, that was one of the reasons why I didn't like going to these social events, to these reunions, to these holiday parties, is because I felt like a bastard. And that's how I was treated. It's like, you try to start a conversation and it's like, oh yeah, and it's like, so yeah. That's why I don't associate with any of them. One of the reasons. But anyway, this is why I celebrate my birthday, because I'm making up for all the birthdays I've missed. I'm making up for all the birthdays I've missed. And even though I'm not 21 anymore, I had a made-up 21 birthday, which was awesome. Beyond what they could ever do. And it's with people who love me for me, who don't judge me for what I like, who don't call me a dreamer, who support what I do, and have seen my alleged dreams that would never happen. For example, some of my relatives said laughed at me saying I would never live in the city. I'm living in the city. I may not be living in no flat condo or penthouse, but I'm in the city. That was the goal, living in the city. And to them it would be like, when you're living in the city, you're living in a penthouse or a condo or something that's like skyrocketed up 50 feet in the air. That's what they vision. I'm living in the city. They're not. So, shame on them. And let's see. And perfect. We got well-blended, creamy, lineless eyeliner. So we're going to do something even Oh, well. It flew right out. Let me see, maybe we can fix it. Oh, hold on, that's the wrong end. Because what I plan next... revision, we're going to be revisioning, not too much, but we were going to do green eyeliner on the lower side, and then the pink on the other. But that's not going to work. So, we are doing the lower eyeliner first. There we go. And then let me do the other side. Also, I had a makeup request, and somebody wanted me to do their makeup this past weekend, and I came down at the exact time that they asked, we set up, and they were downstairs. I thought, okay, this is going to work. Didn't happen. Immediately the moment I came out, they were going to go grab somebody a Coke, and they'd be back in a few hours. So I was bailed. This was the second time that I was I scheduled something with this person, so from now on, I'm not doing anybody's makeup. If somebody asks me, unless they're a really good friend that I've known for years and years, I'm not doing their makeup. If they're a complete stranger, somebody that I've only known for months and I don't even know their name, I'm not doing it. Because seriously, it's like, how disrespectful. How disrespectful. And I guarantee you, they're going to be like, I was downstairs. I said, I came right downstairs. I was approaching you, and you said you were on your way out. I guarantee you, I was looking right at them. I guarantee you that's what they're gonna do. Bullshit. And sorry for my swearing. But anyway, I am looking forward to my birthday. It's gonna be so awesome. I actually kind of like that. I do. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, let's see. What else can we do? Hold on. Let's see if we can make this just a little bit longer. Even though, oh god, it's starting to rip. Yeah, I figured this is gonna fall apart. I figured this is going to fall apart. Alright, let's see. What else can we do? I like the eyes as is. Here, let's see. What do we have? One sec. Where is it? Give me a sec, you guys. Feeling like black diamond. Let's add a black diamond the middle of our forehead. It's been a while since we've done a diamond. We're already fucking it up. You watch, there's going to be some dumb, stupid person saying, why do you have a crucifix on your forehead? It's not a crucifix, you idiot, it's a diamond. A wonky one at that, but still, it's a diamond. I don't see a cross. And then we're going to do something cool with the diamond. Take some of our white foundation, and we're going to put a little bit on here, and you'll see we're going to make it white on the inside. Try to keep it clean with a black border as much as possible. There we go. And then with the other side, we're going to grab some red eyeshadow and stick it in the middle, as close to the middle as possible. And then with our liquid eyeliner, we're going to add a pupil. We're going to add a black dot. We're making an eyeball. For those of you who probably are wondering, we're making an eye. A red eye. And then once again on our other side, we're going to take just a smidge and add a little bit of a shine. There we go. We got a little bit of an eye. Hopefully they don't think it's a target and shoot me. Then we're going to take our wet eyeliner and kind of darken what we have done with the pencil eyeliner. I don't want to apologize for getting off subject, going on rants. talking about my past childhood, especially my teens, is really hard. And, that's another reason why I want to celebrate my birthday, is because I was never celebrated, and what achievements I've gained, very few in the family, acknowledged it. And then whenever there was a fault, they would acknowledge the fault or the failures. But everything else, they didn't acknowledge it for too long. If they did any form of acknowledgement, it was like maybe 3 or 4 seconds, and that was being considerate for them. Normally, it's 2 seconds. There were some relatives that did, like, for example, my grandmother's siblings that were still alive at the time. I don't know if they're still alive now, but you saw my great aunts and my great uncles. They, they commented, they congratulated, and I had one uncle, my mother's uncle, my mother's brother, who acknowledged it as well, but anybody else? No. Very short. And people are like, some of them still have a grudge. Like, 1 or 2 years ago, I found out my aunt still has a grudge over something that was made up in her head, where she concluded bullshit, and it's not even the right shit. She just concluded what was going on, and she still holds a grudge to this day. And grudges aren't good. So yeah, hold your grudge, because I'm not talking to you. That's why you're blocked on Facebook and every social media possible. And if certain relatives still want to talk to them, fine, they can talk to them, but don't talk about me. Please don't talk about me. And if I ever find out that you talk about me, I'm going to politely ask you not to talk about me. But if I find out you're still talking about me to them, when you know that how they feel about me, you're also going to go into block. Because seriously, you're enabling the grudge. You're enabling the bullshit. Let it go. We should all just let it go. I'm not there, out of sight, out of mind, but I guess their lives are miserable, because why you're still talking shit about me when I'm not even there? Alright, let's fix our hair just a bit. See, I think I left my hairspray in the bathroom. I cannot wait for my hair to get long again. I trimmed it to match the new growth, so the mohawk looks thick, but I miss it so much. I might make a new hairpiece. It just depends, because I don't know if I'm going to keep this color, and I would hate to make a hairpiece that matches this color and then I change it. So I've been hesitant on making hair extensions or hair pieces to make the illusion that I have a longer mohawk. See, I am pretty happy with this look. I am going to throw on an outfit and I will show you the final look very shortly. And here it is, the finished look. I put on one of my favorite jackets that I altered. It was a cheap thing, but then I took it out a little bit, added fabric, and made it look more cooler and more comfortable. I am wearing my Grim Reaper pendant. I haven't worn this in a good while, probably about almost 2 years. My favorite chain. I got my shining carrier bag on me. I'm all geared up. My fane's getting caught. So anyway, this is the look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I apologize for my rant and straying off subject, but like I said, talking about my past, especially what I had to grow up with as a teen and what I had to accept and not accept and make up for when I finally escaped. It sets off some anger. You could tell that there's still anger. There's probably always still going to be anger. But but I don't hold grudges. I might be angry about it, but I don't hold a grudge. I seriously don't try to upset people because of the grudge. So I'm not that sort of person. At least one of the Nazi ants are. You know who you are. I blocked you from Facebook. If you're seeing this, F you. F you. So, anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.